afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whomever you're doing. This is the antisocial, I can't talk today, antisocial hour-ish show. And today we have guests. I tell you, he and I are so alike that I'm going to guess we're going to do a musical by the end of it. Where, and my dog will be peeing in my lap because she's just busy that way. Today we have superstar, guy should be everybody's household name, Mr. Stephen Banks. How are you, Stephen?
I'm very good and excited to be talking to you.
I still can't believe you and I are only 10 years apart. Neither one of us look like we're as old as we are.
Yeah, well, my mother had good hair, and uh, there you go. What can I say?
What does your hat stand for?
Oh, this is Drama Teachers Association of Southern California, and that's
Oh,
the organization that when I was in high school, I competed in the high school drama festivals. Loved it, loved it, loved it, and I've gone back since then over many years, and as a judge. And it's a great organization in Southern California, and yeah, it's really great. Well, it's coming up this fall, a
awesome.
few weeks actually. So
Right on. Oh, TikTok. And your birthday, by the time this airs, your birthday will be coming around the corner.
that's
So,
right. Me and Bruce Lee and Jimi Hendrix share a
and
birthday.
oh, this is so cool. I mean, of all the people to be born, yeah. I mean, come on, Bruce Lee
I know
and
that is it.
Hendrix.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I got stuck with Toady Fields.
He's very
Yeah.
funny comedian.
Yes, she is. And much like herself, I can fit them both in a shirt. So, uh, Mr. Stephen Banks, for those who are unaware of you, and that to me is sad and should be remedied at post haste. Let's talk a little bit about little Stephen Banks when he was a child. Now you're from LA, right? You're one of the few
Yeah,
people.
Glendale, California, a native son of the Golden West, as they say, and I'm still here.
And one of your friends growing up, I believe, was some redhead kid who ended up on TV all the time.
Oh, Billy Mummy?
Billy Mummy.
No, no, I didn't grow. I didn't meet Billy until I was doing my show, Home Entertainment Center,
Oh,
and
that was wild. I thought you guys went to high school
no,
together.
no, and we
Oh,
shared the same manager at that time. But I did go to
oh,
high
okay.
school.
We'll
I
do
did go to
Billy
high
Mummy's.
school. I did go to high school with Maren Jensen, who was on Battlestar Galactica,
I
and
remember her with
Don
her beautiful
Henley's
black.
very, yeah, beautiful and really great, really good person. And she was involved with Don Henley for a while, which is how I ended up teaching him movements when he did his solo career. There I was teaching Don Henley mime movements and how to move. Crazy, crazy.
Isn't this where you and I both have like how the hell did this happen life? It's like I Love Lucy kind of launched into your brain and things happen. Um so you're like growing up in LA, like half the world is in entertainment. Your family also in entertainment?
No, my father was an advertising artist, did airbrush and retouching. My mother was a housewife and great mother. I was lucky to have very loving, supportive parents who were fabulous. And really, no, it was showbiz seemed very far away, even though Hollywood is 25 minutes away,
Yeah.
like another universe. Um, only people, we knew someone who worked at Disney Studios
Okay, you're
who
right
was
there.
an artist.
Glendale, Burbank, sure.
Exactly, very cool. And I did in fourth grade, I had a great moment, truly one of the highlights of my life. And I still remember it. My mother came to the school, took me out of school in the middle of the day, fourth grade, and said, "Oh, we're going to go over to Walt Disney Studios. They're shooting this movie." We go over, I meet Norm Nocedi was our friend and his wife Erica. We go in, I walk into the sound stage, and I watch them film Dick Van Dyke's one-man band sequence in Mary Poppins on Cherry Tree Lane.
Oh my God. With the
And
and the
as a kid, the whole street, all the park and everything were in that sound stage. And I'm
oh.
standing. At one point, he looked over at me and tooted his harmonica, and I was a huge Dick Van Dyke fan. And
Oh,
then,
who wouldn't be? Yeah.
no. And then at one point, this woman walked by, toweling off her hair, and they said, "Oh, that's Julie Andrews. She's going to play Mary Poppins." And it was crazy. I mean, I remember it so clear. And I was able years later to tell, I've met Dick Van Dyke probably on three or four occasions, was able to tell him about that. And, but yeah, it was great. It was
And
great.
as of today, I'm hitting all my snares and everything on
Still
my stick.
alive. I
He's
know. I
still
know.
around, you know.
Good.
Let's hope he does the George Burns things and last Lisa
I,
hiatus. Yeah, I saw him lifting weights the other day in somebody's photograph. I'm like,
yeah, well, he wrote that book, Keep Moving, and that's what he does. He
yeah.
just,
And he
yeah.
married somebody 50 years younger than him, and they're singing together and doing dance acts together.
Yep.
Like that's pipe dreams for me. That's
Yeah.
my goal. Meanwhile, I'm wearing the "I'm fine, everything's fine" shirt. Um, that's so cool. So
Well,
the
yeah,
next
that
day at
was.
school, you must have been the coolest guy in the world.
Well, I guess I mentioned. It's funny. I don't recall that until later, but it just because they were such good friends, and I knew it as years go on, the impact of how cool that was to go on the set of a classic movie. But I was very um, didn't have to show up as family at all. There were no like connections really or anything. We knew one director that directed commercials, so sometimes I went and watched one time them shoot something.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a wonderful childhood in Glendale. Uh, Growing up, had really good friends and family and all that stuff. So I was very lucky.
You're very lucky. Glendale is also warm, so it wasn't like New England where you had a shovel in your backyard. Yeah.
That's very true. We did not, we don't deal with the snow out here.
You know, the only thing you have to shovel out there is a whole different.
We have earthquakes though. I got
Yes.
a few of those biggies.
Yes, yes. Now, okay, so you're living this happy, good life. You get to see Julie Andrews. I'm so jealous. Me, yes, I am. I have a dirty Julie Andrews song that I think she sang backstage while she was doing Victor Victoria, and to this day I have to find it. Actually, a mutual friend of ours, Steve Hillenberg, uh,
Ah,
the late and great.
yeah.
I went to CalArts with him.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yes, we were a year apart in school, and his desk was two desks over from mine. So
Wow.
so I got to see him work on the bongos, bass and bob, oral hygiene animation with everybody. And
Wait a minute. Hillenberg worked on that?
yes, you didn't know?
To quote Johnny Carson, and no one gets that reference, I did not know that. Oh my God. I had no, oh man, I wish I could have. Oh,
Yeah, with Sheila and her husband David. Yes.
that is crazy. Because I was an honorary member of Bongos Bass and Bob. We did a tour. We went down to Texas and
Mhm.
did a show. Um, oh my gosh, Running Elk and Penn and I. That is why I had no idea.
Isn't that cool?
Wow, that's great. Well, there we
This is
go.
why people like being on my show because I find out weird stuff and they're like, this
That's
is good.
great.
That's so good.
I,
Now you
I
get
bet
something.
I bet Penn doesn't even know that.
Penn
Uh,
is one of those people you could tell him 10 things and he'll remember the one thing that has his name in it.
that's
So,
very true. But he's had a lot happen to him, so
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, he has.
I've known Penn for, well, I don't know him now, but I did know him for quite a long time when I lived in Vegas. And I trained rats for Teller too.
Ah,
For
excellent.
yes, him and Tom Waits did that play together with
All
uh
right.
with our buddy to get a Todd Robbins. And
Yep, yep, yep.
yes, and so my rats were in the play and Tom Waits did the music and it was like, wow, I was this close to being so cool. So, small planet. You run into people doing all sorts of weird stuff all the time. And that's one of the things I love about it. Especially when I talk to people who have done a lot of stuff. You and I both also share a love for every kind of art, it seems like. Like you are also really into the music,
Mhm.
performance, you write, you're singing. Dr. Demento, huge part of my bloodstream.
Oh yeah, and he just did his last show.
Yeah,
I
Grant,
went to there's a great group called the LA Breakfast Club.
yes,
And
I
they
was,
meet every Wednesday. They've been together for 100 years. And I went for his they did a thing honoring him. It was really great. And he looked great, sounded great. And Penn and I actually he opened for us at the Coach House. We did a tour, Penn and I, our friend Elliot Freeman, these two backup singers, and we did a tour of about five places. This is sort of post Home Entertainment Center. The
mhm,
the show I did on Showtime.
it was a
And
great one.
yeah, he was the opening act. But oh yeah, that was a thrill for me to hear one of my songs played on Doctor Demento. I mean, that was great.
I would have been, I mean, I was in a band called Dutch Falcone and his Twisted Orchestra, and you may or may not have remembered a song called Rocket Bra Revenge, or Potatoes, Carrots, and You, the Cannibal Soup song. Those two songs ended up on Dr. Demento.
That's great. No, he was oh, so great, so great.
And Grant Brookledge was just on our show, and the puppet guy,
But
and
who?
Grant Brookledge.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Grant, who's nobody's last name, who's that nobody can spell or
Pronounce, right?
say. Yeah, that's yeah, sweetest guy in the world. Also in LA right now. But he was just on. We were talking about Dr. Demento. He wanted to have Grant take over the show for him. And he's like,
Really?
"I'm
Huh.
doing the puppets. I'm doing the puppets." So,
Yeah.
such a cool thing. That life. I don't know if you were like this, but where I lived in New England, it was hard to get the show in. So you'd
Mm.
have to sit under your sheet at night, at 2
Oh,
a.m. and like hope you got the AM radio to hit that right line so you could hear it's Sunday night, time for the Dr. Demento
right,
show,
right.
you know. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Small Planet. So you're part of the Breakfast Club too? That's funny.
I'm
So
not an
many.
official I'm not an official member, but I've been to dozens. They asked me to speak at one, and I'd never heard of it, and I could not believe they meet every Wednesday for over 100 years. Walt Disney was a member, and it's crazy. Presidents came, it's nuts. And it's every Wednesday, 7 a.m., and there's a breakfast, and you sing songs and do things, and there's all these great, wonderful, silly little rituals, and then they have a great speaker. Well, very interesting speaker.
Uh,
I did it the first time, so I went to check it out with somebody else, and I thought this is really cool. How did I not know about this? And I've been to, oh God, probably at least 15.
uh,
They're
but
wonderful.
who was the first person who told you about him?
Kevin Siegel invited me, and I had known him through the Magic Castle and Brookledge, which is the home that the Larson family, who started the Magic Castle, where they lived, and there's this beautiful little theater there, and
So
they started doing shows. Rob Zabrecky, the great magician, said we should do stuff. So years and years ago, I mean, probably more than 20, they did uh, um, like a spook show there, and then they started doing shows, and it was you were just invited, it didn't cost anything.
yep.
And but you'd be on stage and you'd look in the audience, and there was Priscilla Presley, there was Dick Van Dyke, there was Paul Rubens. That's how I sort of became. I mean, I got to know Paul a bit through, through that because he was always there. But it
Mhm.
wasn't like a big cool Hollywood scene at all.
Yeah.
You just go up to people. I mean, it was just you'd go and then someone would grab me and go, the guy who has the biggest Planet of the Apes collection is over there. And so I'd run
Yeah.
and talk to him. And then you see there's Randy Newman. I mean, but it wasn't, I mean, these are big
It
names,
wasn't a who is this that does
but it
that. It's
wasn't
like,
like, oh, everyone's very approachable and
yeah.
you would just talk and there was a funkiness to it and people would perform. I performed many, many times there. And I got to back up Moby one time singing as Billy the Mime. There's a great picture of me behind Moby. Uh,
As Billy the Mime. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah, it's a great picture of there. Yeah, it was not. I mean, it's a one, it's they're refurbishing and fixing it up now. It's gonna open up again later, but it's not a public thing. It's just by invitation. And
I found out about it because Paul Rubens, our mutual friend, the late but great, I still have a couple of his toys over. He actually gave me and a bunch of CalArts people school rings, and he brought a
wow,
Ferris wheel into one of our reunions, so we got to throw up in honor of Paul.
that's
Um, but he brought me. He was the first person that brought me,
ah,
and that was so cool. I mean, and it
yeah.
was
I didn't know.
exactly that. It was here's the
I
gal that like, oh, she sings the Friskies commercial song. Oh, meow 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 meow. Yeah, that's
Oh
her. She's
yeah.
over here.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. It's and just the whole garden for people who don't know. It's in this beautiful garden. There is a brook that runs through it with bridges, and just for those people, Thayer had it as a magic place to sell magic tricks, and he did big magic tricks. And he said, "Well, I got to show them right," so he built this stage. Orson Welles performed there, would rehearse there, and then the Larson family bought it and traded houses actually later, and yeah, it was great. So
It's
hopefully, I
still
think in 2026, it's going to return.
is it still up? You still have to park at Orange just to get a parking spot and then go up the hill and whatever.
You mean are you talking about the castle or?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Oh,
thinking about the
no, the
other one.
castle. The castle. I was talking about Brookledge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Brookledge, the
Yeah.
home. Brookledge is the home. The Magic Castle is
The
the.
other, yeah.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Different animals.
Right, right.
But that's how my brain works. It's all like, oh
Oh,
look,
me too.
So we're good.
No, no,
I just
no.
looked over there, saw Sue Cruz picture over there, and I went, okay. So my brain is in like all sorts of modes today. Also, I'm very excited because I adore your work so much. Like
Thank
since
you.
I'm one of the stand-ups. I've been in this business. This is my 45th year.
Hmm. That's great.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
without being an alcoholic. That's the weird part. Um, the only thing I ever OD on is chocolate, which is good.
Mhm.
Good. Um, so 44 years doing stand-up, and one of the only things I've ever seen that was close to something that I wish I had done was your show, The Entertainment. So it was like, this is this is exactly my life. I walk into my house and start singing immediately. Things become instruments immediately. My animals each have their own theme songs when they walk into me. The whole world is about what is she doing now? And my poor husband, I married this fella who works in law, so he's completely straight laced, and which is good because then we don't have to compete about who's crazier in the house. We know it's him,
Right.
and and uh, and it just seeing that show. I rewatched one of the episodes the last couple of days. Well, the episode the last couple of days that they had on Showtime, going, this is exactly what I was trying to do, and you had taken the world and went, this is me. Let's make this happen. What happened? Why did not they not make that bigger? Why? You should have been superstar.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you wonder about whether things hit. It was this one person play. I always say one person show because that always feels like you're coming out in front of a curtain and saying, I'm Mark Twain or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but it just, and you can, it's on Amazon Prime. You can stream it, or for free, it's on YouTube. Stephen Banks Home Entertainment Center. Anyhow, um, I don't know. We did first around a little theater near the Universal Studios, the Chamber Theater, and the
Great
show was
mistake.
actually written. The set came before the show, believe it or not. I was thinking about these three different ideas for a show, and I went to this place where I knew the guy who owned the theater, and he said, "Well, we had this play that opened, but it bombed. We had to close it early. You might want to use this set." And he raises this curtain, small theater, 33 seats,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, which like three rows. And here's this hyper realistic Sam Shepard True West kitchen set with a refrigerator and a stove and a sink and cupboards. And the first thing I said, I go, does that stove work? And he goes, we could probably make it to work. So I had this vague idea. So I actually, in a way, believe it or not, sort of wrote it around the set. And it was very different in that first version. um, he had this guy kept calling him. He had quit this job, and this guy kept calling him, trying to come back. And you weren't sure what it was. Was he selling drugs? Was he a male prostitute? Was he did all these? I'm not going to do it. And then it turned out he delivered gorillograms, which is something people did back in the day. And
Yes.
ended with that.
With balloons or
And
without.
I changed it. I went back, I rewrote it, spent 4.5 months at the Glendale Public Library, a lot of it, and rewrote the show to what it became, ran it at this small theater on Santa Monica Boulevard. Producer saw it. We went up to San Francisco. Then it ran at the
Yeah,
one.
that's a nice little theater. You did 11 months up there, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, it was great. I love that theater. It was nice because it was rake seats that go down, and you felt like you were in the apartment with him.
Mhm.
And yeah, the two most nervous I ever was in the show was in LA when I did it, and Julie Harris, the actress who East of Eden in many movies, won 5 Tonys, came and saw it. And I
Wow.
had, as I was performing, I had this whole mental image of like 5 Tony Awards, which is the award for theater, sitting. I know you know. I'm just saying it for the
Oh, yeah.
sitting in the theater watching me. And the second most nervous I was in San Francisco when Brian Wilson came to see the show, and that was
Oh,
I met him afterwards. It was very cool, and we chatted and so forth. But yeah, we did that. Then we moved to the Marines Memorial, which is a big like 600 seat theater, and that's where they shot the special. Um, did the special. It aired on Showtime. I was sort of flavor of the month or whatever in all these meetings with Brandon Tartikoff at NBC, Grant Tinker, and all these executives, and tried to figure out where I'm going to go. Ended up at Disney, who had to deal with Touchstone Television, which was on Showtime,
oh,
do a series. And so wrote a pilot based on that character. And it was okay. I think I listened to too many people.
oh.
Um, and
Story of my career.
but you never know. You don't know. Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows? I might have made something that was worth. And anyway, they had said, well, if we get at least 5 million viewers, we'll go to series. Well, they got like 5.1, but this is way back in the day. That's like a hit show on network now.
Yeah.
But it did, but they didn't go ahead with it. And there were a lot of mistakes. I mean, I know there's stuff was there, but then later I did the Stephen Mang show, the series on PBS.
Yeah. Which was the only time PBS ever did a comedy.
Yeah, yeah, that's much more where my heart was. That was more me and that character and so forth. So you don't know. I made some decisions maybe that were incorrect. I may have had some bad advice from people, but I took it. Ultimately, it comes to me. But it's. I mean, it was so many weird things happen. Like I remember one of it because the special had gone on and it got good reviews and comedy was very hot then, even though I wasn't a stand-up. Um,
No, you're definitely more
remember
performance art kind of guy than a stand-up.
Yeah, but performance art usually means pretentious and boring.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mean it that way.
With some rare exceptions like Laurie Anderson or
Laurie Anderson's first name that comes in my
right.
mind.
Um, but but I mean, like my agent one time sent me on an audition for this movie where, and I think I was probably 34 at the time, and the part was for a 45-year-old cop who was in a boxing ring, like working out, and I'm a very tall, thin fellow,
You
and I
don't, you
certainly
look
did
that.
like for this part that like Robert De Niro was in the movie. It was like, what? I mean, that's where I should have said, hey, great, but so I went to the audition. I said, well, I'm not 45. And he said, balding. I go, I'm not balding. I'm not 45. I'm not balding. I've never boxed, but I'll give it a shot.
Sure.
Uh,
The fact that they want you to audition means they need you for something. They just don't know
yeah.
why. So,
So, who knows? Who
yeah.
knows?
I
What?
love going to auditions just because you have no idea why they asked you. I got cast in an all black women's TV sitcom as the token white girl. So
Hmm.
yeah, so
I was on Living Single, which
that
was
was the
what
one.
was considered the black version of Friends.
That was the one. And I got
Was
cast.
it?
Yes, I was on the pilot and the first pilot. They shot two pilots. I was on the first pilot. They said, "Let's do it," and I said, "I don't want to be the white girl that everybody talks about. This show is going to be great without me," and I just walked away.
Wow. Well, you never know what could happen. I mean, good or bad, or whatever. Yeah, I was on that, and who was the band that Waterfalls was their big hit?
Oh, and not,
Left Eye. And
yeah, Left Eye, Lopez, and yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
anyways, they were the guests on it, and it was great. And I was, sitting there with them one time, sitting on the sofa, and she Left Eye dad died tragically. Did like this somersault over the sofa and just sat next to me and just started asking questions. She was tiny, very
Yes, she
cute.
was.
Um,
And you're 6 feet tall, so
TLC, is that what
yeah,
they're?
TLC, that's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And it was weird. It was a very interesting experience for me. Glendale was not a diverse community when I grew up. Um,
There's
and
Armenians and more white people.
well, now, I mean, there's huge
Yeah,
Middle Eastern, it's everything.
yeah.
Huge Hispanic and whatever. My best friend was Mexican. Um, but I mean, there were literally no black people at the high school and whatever. And so when I did that show, it was very interesting because there I was, and I'd be backstage, and I was the only white person, on the thing. And I know it's all delicate the way you talk about things now, but
Back then, yeah.
it was really interesting to get that. It's like, huh, this is it's just an interesting situation to be in because I just had not been in that. But of course, you know, show business is quite diverse,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and Linda's too, which is a great
There's a
thing.
Jewish guy and the other Jewish guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's and Glinda, of course, just has become, yeah, I think it's the largest Armenian population outside of Armenia. So I mean,
And
seriously.
yeah, I think Taylor Negron was the one who kept telling me that.
All right.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a bizarrely. Did you actually decide to go to clown college before you were?
Yeah, I was after I graduated from high school, I went to Los Angeles City College, and I didn't know whether I was going to continue doing theater and drama or I was going to do go into filmmaking because I wanted to be Stanley Kubrick. I wasn't. Uh, but I remember sitting there trying to decide, and then I did the cinema. I took the cinema class, but then I really missed performing, and then I dropped out of college, and uh, and then I went and saw Marcel Marceau at the Century City, and I thought, I think I could maybe do this. That was kind of an epiphany moment. And I was sort of doing that. And then we heard about my best friend Mike Corcus and I heard about Clown College and they were having auditions. We said, let's do it. So we went down, the
Uh,
Ringling Brothers, to there at the Forum and auditioned, and we both got in and went back. It was 8 weeks back in Venice, Florida.
I was gonna say it was in Florida.
Yeah. And it was great training. I mean, they taught you acrobatics, juggling, costume making, and I mean like real serious costume making, history of clowning, tumbling, high wire, trampoline, all these, clown. I worked
And
with,
safety stuff. You were right.
yeah,
Covered.
and worked with Lou Jacobs, who you would recognize instantly. Where's his? I have his picture somewhere of me with him. Um, one of the most famous clowns ever.
With the hat and the
The hat and the big
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, a lot of people. I mean, Penn Jillette went to Clown College, Steve O went to Clown College, Bill Irwin went to Clown College.
Bill still lives Clown College.
Yeah, there's somebody, I can't remember if it's somebody else, but anyway, Howie Butin, a friend of mine, uh, who went on to success as a writer.
Patty
And
Ritz, I see you. You're at Clown College too.
oh,
Okay. Yeah.
did you know Howie Butin, Buffo? Did you?
No.
Oh, that's a whole other share show. Anyway, so yeah, we went, and I had no intention of joining the circus because it's a tough life.
Yeah.
On Saturdays you're doing 3 shows, and you're traveling in a train car in this tiny little. But I want to go for the training and the experience and sort of the credit. So
And
we
it's
went and had a
serious. I
great
mean, you
time.
get a workout in. You
Oh yeah,
become
oh
a
dance.
marathon runner built by the end of
Oh
it.
yeah, it's something. So, but it was a great experience. It's fun to do it. And of course, my kids who both went to USC love when they say, "Oh, where did your parents go?" And they go, "Oh, well, my our mother went to Occidental College, got her master's there, and then my dad went to Clown College." So it's a great line.
Oh.
It's a great line.
So on the Crazy Rich Asian scenario, you would not have been the approved parent. So,
Right.
that's so cool. I have friends that wanted to get into that so badly, but they ended up in things like, I don't know, Alvin Ailey. So it's like you ended up working with a dancer friend of mine,
Oh,
Allison.
and Pilobolus?
Yes, Allison, who I haven't
Not
talked
Allison,
to a
not
million.
Allison. Allison Chase.
Yes. So,
Okay, Allison, who's a rich Pilobolus, is one of the great dance companies of all time, and especially in America. Revolutionary. They've been together 50 plus years. And I was a huge fan when I was young and went and saw them. And then an agent actually did something for my book agent of all people. Pilobolus signed with, and they did a briefly. It was three guys were taking a dance class and they were all jocks.
uh,
And they came up with this piece and they did it at some dance festival. Louis Siegel, or one major dance critic, somebody said this is the best dance piece I've seen in like 15 years. Anyway, then they were with Allison Chase and oh, I'm forgetting the other woman. Forgive me, I'll think of it.
that's okay.
Anyhow, they created this company. They ended up on Broadway, toured all internationally.
Everywhere.
They contacted me. They wanted to do a full evening piece. And so we created this piece called Shadowland. And if you look like Shadowland Pilobolus on YouTube, you'll find a great little teaser trailer that really gives a good idea of what it was.
Mhm.
And they wanted narrative and story, which they'd never done. They'd never done a piece that long. So I went back there, worked with them in a very unique way. 5 directors, including myself, essentially 5 writers, and the dance company is contributing. And we created this piece that ended up playing in like 42 countries for over 1 million people. And it's unfortunately it has not toured extensively in America, unfortunately.
Well, America's so weak on dance
But
history too. It's so
well,
sad.
it hasn't really been marketed correctly, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Here. Um, but Pilates are still going strong, and it was really successful. And we were able to go to the openings in Paris
How did they find
and
you? How did
well, an agent, here's what happened. Sometimes show business works. They
yeah.
signed, shoot, is it CA or ICM? I think they signed with ICM, and I
Mm,
had that's where I was at that time. And so they had one of those meetings with the head of the Pilabolus people, and uh, talking what they were going to do and whatever. And I think the subject came up or whatever. And the guy thought, well, wow, here's this guy who has a theater background, mime movement background. He's a comedy writer, all that stuff. So they put us together. I flew back. I think they were doing something on Conan or whatever, and met them, and we really hit it off. Especially Matt and Renee, who now run the company.
Mhm.
Really one of the best, creative experience I've ever had, and
Oh.
very proud of the show we created. We actually did a Shadowland too, but not as good as Godfather 2, but
Well,
another great
Godfather
experience.
3 takes them
With a
home, so
whole other, yeah, not that,
yeah.
yeah, the whole other batch of dancers, and I really loved working with them,
That's so
and
cool.
stay in contact with them. And we talked recently, and they just opened Penn and Teller. The Magicians had their 50th anniversary show, sold out Radio City Music Hall, and Pilobolus was like the opening act because
Oh, that's so
I
cool.
I connected them together because they would bring people in to do things like Michael Motion and whatever, the juggle different people, and I said, you guys should do something with Penn and Teller, and they did, and there you go.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I have a friend named Jacques Heim. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's obviously he's from France, but he's. I always thought he was the Robin Williams of dance, and of course, I'm
Hmm.
getting a guy showing up here that's going to make the dogs bark. Um, uh, I will talk about him all day long, but he is the guy that absolutely got me turned on to everything about dance. Can I put this on hold? I just,
Sure.
just a second. 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
No
And
problem. No problem.
all right, are you guys done? Thank you. Shush. In Spanish, we have. Thank you. Sorry, they're singing opera. They're horrifying. All right, girls, enough. It's not. Thank you. Go sit. Mind your manners. Who do you think you are? Go make me think. What's wrong with you? All right, sorry about that. My kids are
Martha Clark is the other Pilobolus.
Martha
Martha
Clark.
Clark, who went on to big, 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 all sorts of things.
Oh, but Jacques Heim got me so totally hooked on different dance groups that were just like was Plus also the one that did the high wires off the side of the building, or was that oh,
Philippe Petit?
huh?
No, not Philippe Petit, not world famous.
Maybe that was who it was, yeah. But he got me into, seeing dance as something more than just, pretty people doing pretty things. It was just, the idea that it could just take your body into this direction and go past whatever you think is going to happen and tell stories with how you move.
Right.
Absolutely fell in love with it. Absolutely. And we got a dancer coming up from a black ballet company that's going to be amazing in a few weeks. But so you got this thing now. How did you end up meeting Steve Hillenberg?
My agent, I'd been working for a while and then I wasn't working, and the agent said, have you ever thought about writing animation? And I said, no. And,
Because that's
and
something you would obviously
well,
pick up
let's
really.
send your stuff in. So I remember I sent a copy of Home Entertainment Center. How long ago was it? On VHS, a VHS tape. We sent them that and a spec Seinfeld script I had written, which actually, full disclosure, was an episode of my PBS series that I had changed and replaced all the characters. Actually came out pretty good. But anyhow, so they really liked that, and I interviewed and I got hired on a show called Cat Dog, which was created by a guy that became my very good friend, Peter Hannon. And
Aw,
I worked on that show for, I don't know, 2.5 years, wrote like 40 of those episodes. Then the next one I worked on was Jimmy Neutron, which was a CG series.
stupidly popular show. Yeah.
And then after that, SpongeBob had been on for 3 seasons, but they didn't know, are we going to do a fourth one, whatever. And then I mean, it was really getting bigger and bigger, and I was a huge fan of it. And then, so they said, "You want to, the head writer on SpongeBob?" And I said, "I'd love to." So I went in, and then I was head writer on seasons 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and
Wow.
worked with, because by that time Steve had technically left the show,
Yeah.
because he had done the series. He had done the movie, and probably very few people out there have done those things to know what the amount of work, created the show, whatever. And so, and he left it in the hands of Paul Tibbett, who also went to Cal Arts. Did you know Paul?
Yes, yes, he did.
Oh yeah, he's Paul Tibbett. Paul became a very good friend. He anyway, he hired me, and I, was on the show for 6 years. And we did, yeah, had that many seasons, six
You got
seasons.
to tell Tom Kenny what to say and do. That's good.
Well, sort of, kind of. I mean, not good to do, but yeah, and I'd known Tom before too. Yeah, so
Yeah, I
it,
met Tom when he
no,
was doing stand up and trying to get into voice. He was still like
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
road
Well,
tours with Bobcat.
the
Like,
whole cast of that show, the voice actors were so good. And then in the other shows I did, I got to meet like the best voice actor, Billy West and Jim Cummings, the best actors, you know, in animation in LA. And so and it
And
was a
now
good.
Jim Cumming is doing TikTok videos with his granddaughter. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does the voice of Tigger and Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
and 9,000 other voices. But it was a very different, there was a learning curve. I had to learn how to do it and write, but I met some really interesting people. And it was a great, and then it was great, to work on SpongeBob was terrific. I mean, the characters were very well established. The challenge was they'd already done so many stories. By that time, it was
How do you pick something they haven't already done
seven,
before?
you go, okay, we got to come up with another 11 minute. Um, but I think we did, and it was fun this Halloween. Uh, I did a show. It's the episode where SpongeBob accidentally slams the door in Squidward's face, and he becomes super handsome. And so it's handsome. It's called, I think, the Two Faces of Squidward. Here I can show you a visual.
Oh, yes.
And it was really good. And Aaron Springer was the artist who did the design, but he just became so handsome. And at first, he kind of liked it. It was great, but then it became too much. Be careful what you wish for. And he just couldn't stand it. And he had to, but a few years ago, they made an action figure of handsome Squidward. There he is. And
It's
the design
disturbing.
is
It's so
so,
good.
and this is exactly what he looks like. And so I was out, there he is.
That's great.
I was out at a Halloween store with one of my sons, and I had to pick up some prop for something I was doing. And there, they had a handsome Squidward mask, which I'd show you, but it's in the house. Oh yeah, it was the whole bit, and I just cracked up. I thought, oh, and they did a really good job. So that was a high point to have a character that I had created become a toy and so forth. But yeah, the SpongeBob years were great, and the writers, I had a lot of fun with the writers who went on to all sorts of things and other shows, and working with that crew, the artists. Um, that was really exciting. That was really fun.
That's so amazing. So you land this, in once of a lifetime kind of a show thing at Showtime. You ended up doing. I'm just like recapping in case I forget. Um, you're doing all the animation writing, you're doing the dance thing. Uh, Next thing you know, you're in the New York Times. I mean, just if people are reading about Stephen Banks in the New York Times. What happens, after 2006, you do or 2005, you're doing the Aristocrats as Billy the Mime.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did Billy the Mime and the Aristocrats, and I'd always thought about doing like a whole. I thought, what if there was a mime who was really talented, technically very proficient, but sort of had no idea the bad taste in which the routines that he was doing, the subject matters. So I did this show at Sacred Fools Theater, came up with 12 routines, and these were routines like World War II, Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings, A Night at Monticello, the abortion. There's other ones later on going more and more was
They're
uh,
called classics.
drink- Drinks with Bill Cosby, A Date with Harvey Weinstein, Dinner with Jeffrey Dahmer, A Day Called 9/11. Anyhow, it turned into this crazy thing where I did that. And that was when I was still at SpongeBob. I used to rehearse in the SpongeBob offices because I had this big room because we had the writer's room. So I'd lock the doors when I wasn't working and I would rehearse. Don't tell anyone. I would
Well,
rehearse.
just so you know, I mean, everybody was watching. When you're an animator, you do physically rehearse what you're drawing for people. So
Some of
I
some of
looked at
them
that and
do.
thought, oh, he's
Yeah,
just an animator doing something. That's it.
yeah, some of them do. Some of them do. Yeah, exactly. I could have covered that, but it was. So anyway, I started doing that, and it just kept building. And then I went to the New York Fringe Festival. Then I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I did an off Broadway run at the Flea Theater, and
Yeah.
I did the where it really happens. I did the New York Fringe, and we got this review, this really good review, from Jason Zinnemann, the comedy writer there. And that, opened up other doors. That's later how I think Pilobolus, so I gave some qualification. Um, and yeah, I did this Daria Festival down in South America. And anyhow, and I would do Upright Citizens Brigade a lot here in
Which
LA
is such a great theater.
and
That's a
also in New York. I did many, many, many shows there.
mhm.
Um, and and then every once in a while I would do things on television, sort of before the animated thing. I had a little run where I'd finally sort of figured out how to audition. So I was on, some show like Living Single and some of those other shows.
Yeah, you get started on a lot of stuff. I was surprised at how much.
Yeah, uh and then so yeah, the SpongeBob thing I did Billy, and then out of the blue, I got hired just for 6 weeks on Two and a Half Men, post Charlie Sheen. This was with Ashton Kutcher was on, and then I ended up writing a pilot for a 1 hour with Chuck Lorre, who co-created that,
Chuck's a sweetheart.
and and then when they were doing Mom, that series with Anna Faris and Allison Janney,
Yep.
the guys on the show. Well, Chuck knew of me and so forth, um, but Nick Bakay, who's one of the creators of that New Five Physical Comedy, so they just call me up and say, "Hey, Steven, are you available October 12th?" And I'd go, "Yes, I am." It was great. No audition, you just go, and it would be like I was a waiter who
Makeup.
kept walking up, not doing mine, but waiter who would walk up during the when they were having a conversation where things you wouldn't want to overhear, and I'd have to turn around and go away. I did one where a guy was proposing marriage, and my outfit caught on fire from the Paris Jubilee, and they were doing the Heimlich maneuver. So I would go in, and I think I did like five of them, and it was great. It was so great to watch both of them, Anna Faris but especially Allison Janney, who just, man, what a pro,
She
and
is
so
on.
focused and so good. I remember seeing her like in between things, she'd be working with her person, going over her lines, and just, there's a reason she's won Tony Oscars and all that jazz,
Grammys, yeah.
Oscar and Oscar and all those Emmys and so forth. And also the craziest thing too was she'd come up to me and it was real spurs. And I was like low man on the totem pole. I was like the guest thing. I'd be at the end of the table. She'd come over and go, "Oh, hi, Steve," big hug. And same thing with Donna Ferris too before she left. It was really,
Aw.
yeah, it was very, and just a very relaxed, total professional, set. So I did those kind of weird things while in between I was writing and doing other things, and then I've always had a lot of irons in the fire because a lot of
Yeah.
more things have not worked out than have worked out.
But
So
if you don't keep pitching, you're not going to get
oh
that ball
yeah.
up
Oh, exactly. And then one time someone asked me, "Did have you ever thought about writing something?" They were fans of Home Entertainment Center, and he goes, "Yeah, my brother and I would use your show as a litmus test for potential dates. We'd sit them down
there.
and show them that. And if they laughed and got it, they go, okay, this person's right." So she said, "Have you ever thought about writing a novel?" And in my garage, I'd started this YA young adult novel called King of the Creeps, set in the early 60s. And uh, so anyway, so I did that, and that ended up getting published. And then years later, a new thing. It's a middle grade book series called Middle School Bites, which is
Hmm.
about a kid who he's all worried about starting middle school, and the day before he starts, he gets bitten by a vampire, a werewolf, and a zombie. So he's a Vam Wolf Zom. He's one third our
It
dad,
happens.
very, yeah, it happens. Very different, kid at school. So it's kind of like about being an outsider, but it's a very funny book, and it's not like it's made for reluctant readers, which I think is a term they don't use anymore, but it's very accessible, but it makes a point about being a real outsider at school because they don't hide it. Very quickly, it's revealed what he is, and they say, "We accept everyone here at Hamilton Middle School."
Oh, that's
And
great.
so some of the teachers are afraid of him, some think that's cool. And he has all these, in a way, he kind of has superpowers because he learns how to turn into a bat and fly. Uh, when he's
This
a
sounds like a
werewolf,
really good movie.
well, Netflix optioned it for a while. Who knows down the road. But so I've written four of those. There have been four of those, and that was another fun thing because even as a kid, I wanted to be a writer, and I used to write little short stories and things. So,
Did you take the manila paper and make little chapbooks and fill it in with your own little comic and story?
well,
That's what I
I learned how to type badly very early on because my handwriting was so bad. So I would type stuff and then I'd staple them together like books. And so that was doing the book thing has really been fun.
Oh, that's so cool.
Uh,
Yeah, I have my agent in New York too. I had a book out called Godless Grief. I think uh
uh-huh.
Randy and everybody else was in, Penn and Dawkins and everybody. So a happy book. And then I wrote a comedy about 9/11. Yay. So
Oh,
I'll send it to you if you want to laugh. Um, this is so cool. So you got these books out. Is this your new life now? Is this what you're going to be doing forever? Or are you going to be doing more of performance stuff? Or I want to hear about this big whoop thing.
oh yeah, the big whoop that came about. I mean, I'd written screenplays before. I'd had things optioned, but nothing had ever been made. And then my friend Penn Jillette, who I've known for 45 years, met him on my honeymoon in San
Aw.
Francisco.
Wait,
Uh,
did he hit on Annette? No.
no,
No, no.
you didn't, you know. Um, that's very funny. Uh, he we he called. Uh, anyway, there's a show called Clowntown City Limits with Two-Headed Dog, which is Mark Fight, Jim Turner, and Dave Gruber Allen, and based on these aging, out of touch birthday party clowns who are trying to get a job. It's a really, really good show. I've seen it many, many times. I
Mhm.
perform with those guys.
They're
So
all out of Illinois, the
Iowa,
Chicago.
that's from Iowa.
They still have yeah, they still have that second city kind of vibe to them. Yeah.
It's not quite. It's a little different from Second City. I think it falls in a different category. Anyway,
Okay.
um, so Christy Pitchford was a huge fan and wanted to do a movie. She goes, oh, well, they tore down the Steve Allen Theater where they did the show. She said, oh, they were over in Budapest doing this other movie. Penn was with her. He had a small part. And she said, oh, I'm never going to get to see Clowntown again. They started talking. She goes, we should do a movie. They said, yeah. And then Penn said, I know, should write it. So very long story short, I got hired to write it because I knew the guys really well. I performed with them. I've written a lot. I'm probably the only person that's actually done a birthday party. Uh, oh well, Penn and Teller have done birthday parties for like Harrison Ford or Rob
Yeah, yeah.
or Barbra Streisand. Um,
Bill Gates, yeah,
yeah,
some
yeah,
young
yeah.
guy.
So uh, ended up writing this thing called The Big Whoop, and it's about these three aging, out of touch birthday party clowns trying to struggle in the modern world, and they accidentally come into possession of this very valuable Egyptian antique, and this criminal wants it. And so I worked in things from their show, which were great live story, but also added this, whole story and so forth. So yeah, I think it's gonna start streaming on December 1st
It'll be
is
right after your birthday. What a nice birthday present.
there we go. But yeah, that was very exciting to have that because I'd done the other stuff. I'd done, to varying degrees of success, but I'd done television, written for it, been on it, been in a lot of movies, not a lot, but I've been in movies and I'd written books and plays and things. And so it was great to, have a movie actually made. And then just got hired to write about a year ago another movie based on a Frank Harris story. So I'm doing that now.
Ah,
And so it's mostly really been writing. Uh, every
which
once in
is
a
what you wanted to do as a little boy.
it's
Yeah,
true, but also perform. I mean, I really wanted to perform too.
that's cool.
That was probably equal. And sometimes, if people won't hire you, you're right, you write your own show. And there's many people who've gone on to careers who've done that.
Yeah,
Well, they
yeah,
won't
I
hire
mean,
me. I'm gonna write my own show.
yep, yep, yep. I'm gonna, yep, I know so many musicians and comedians. Oh, well, you also did love tapes too, right?
Hmm.
I sang on
Yeah,
love
Penn and
tapes.
I wrote Love Tapes, a play that we did at Sacred Fools Theater. Um,
I'm in the background singing in the background in one of the songs. Yeah.
oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Oh my gosh, yeah. I know. Penn and I, we've done, yeah, several things. Over the years.
Funny.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah, did the plays, did that play, did another play called Looking at Christmas, which ran at the Flea Theater where I had done Billy,
Good
and
theater. Yeah.
it's now out. It's about a couple that meet on Christmas Eve in New York and go around and look at all the display windows at Christmas, the famous windows. And then after they leave each window comes alive and the characters that are in it. And it's available at Broadway Publishing, and theaters have started to do it now around the country. It's fun. It's like a bunch of, I mean, you can do it with a cast of four,
Uh-huh.
two people playing the couple and two people playing all the other parts in each window, or you could do it with a cast up to 14. So it was designed for community theaters. High schools have done it. Um, and it's yeah, no, it's I like that show a lot. It's very fun. So yeah, I
Exciting.
mean I still love theater. I went last night to the theater and I still love theater
Yes, didn't you watch the braiding? The braiding
yeah,
movie?
Jaja's African Braiding, a play at the Mark Taper Farm, which is my favorite
I
theater. And
love that theater.
another visual. I was very lucky to have great parents, but also incredibly lucky to have a great drama teacher in high school, Robert Baker, not Bob Baker, the marionette guy, but Bob Baker was his name, and huge influence on my life. I mean, huge, huge. And he and I kept in touch with him, after thing and anyway up to his death right, little right during COVID. But anyhow, Mark Taper Forum is my favorite theater. And here it is. Here is a print. Can you see that?
Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at
Is,
that.
isn't it? It's a great lithograph they did. And
Wow.
Bob had that in his house. And I went after when he passed away, wrote this guy, I said, look, I said, if somebody wants it, I understand or whatever, but I would love to buy it from the estate. Because we kept very close and I saw him, a few days before he passed away, and we would go to see plays and shows and everything. Just loved him. And so anyway, it was great to get that. And
Aw. That's an amazing memorabilia you have behind you too. You have people's.
oh, yeah, that's there's let's see, what is there? This is my I made friends with Janice Ian, the great
I
songwriter.
love her.
I was
I
at
learned the truth at 17.
oh my gosh, and
God,
Stars and Society's Child.
so
Um,
amazing.
a friend of mine had some of Billy's artwork at his house,
Mhm.
and she goes, she was over, he knows her very well. She goes, "What's this?" And he goes, "Oh," he explained. She goes, "I'd love to get some of this." And then, so we traded things for it, and then she sent me her autobiography and a bunch of CDs. It was great. Then we met her at she did a private concert at this person's house. She used to do that kind of thing.
Oh,
Unbelievable. It was like 25 people there. It was just mind blowing.
wow.
And we talked afterwards, and she goes, she's great. She's like, tiny, tiny. And she goes,
Uh,
and very direct and top to the point. She goes, I'm coming back in a month, and you're two of the only people I want to, see and have dinner with. So let's do it. So I went, okay.
nice.
But yeah, this is my signed copy of uh, Stars.
Oh, look at that. That's
I know.
amazing.
Is to Steve and his art, all of his art, Janice, with respect and admiration. Yeah, yeah. She is fantastic. And we really bonded on a love of YA novels and literature. And then there is my Peter Tork signed Monkeys.
My favorite monkey.
Yes. He was on the PBS series. And then here, a friend got this for me. Can you see what that is?
Is that the Beatles?
It's the Beatles and Pete Best. And it
Pete
says,
Best, who I got to
says,
meet. Yeah.
to Steve, keep drumming away.
Oh, wow.
And then anyway, yeah,
That's
there's all sorts
amazing.
of
Yeah,
things.
I got to meet Brett Hudson, no, Mark Hudson, who
Oh yeah.
yeah, bass player for Ringo Starr, who was in the Hudson Brothers program, which you probably remember from you were kid too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so we spent this whole life just going like this back and forth with each other. You just,
I know. Well, it's funny how that happens. If there's like one thing, it kind of can flip into another. But learn things all the time, like the thing about Hillenberg and Bongos Bass and Bob.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
crazy.
that is hilarious. And the Genesee thing, I'm like worshiping. I
Oh boy. And if you ever have a chance, she unfortunately has lost the ability to really sing at the level she wants to. She was in the middle of sort of a farewell tour, but she does a master class that is so good. She studied with Stella Adler, who taught Marlon Brando.
it was
Um,
amazing. Yeah.
and she never acted, but she did it. And she does this master class on performing, not necessarily, and actors could take it or a lot of musicians and performers, where she breaks down everything. She did it out at McCabe's, a small folk club in
Oh, I love McCabe's. Yeah.
and she spent 10 minutes describing how you take the stage, how you literally walk onto the stage. And she did it. It was so good. And she does them around the country. So if you ever have the chance, if it's near anywhere, you can check out her website.
Oh, I will hop on that.
You will learn so much. She's great. I love her. She's really
Isn't
something.
it amazing when you find somebody that just taps into that one thing? You're like, oh, this is the person I should have been talking to about that this whole time. She's amazing.
It is, and you never know. And I had told her I wrote when I first met her in this fan because her first big hit, which she had when she was like 14, Society's Child,
Yeah.
which was about an interracial couple, a white girl dating a black guy. And this is way, way back in the 60s when that was a big thing. I mean, they burned a radio station down for playing it. It was banned on things. And I remember I was sick, and on AM radio, they used to play the same songs over and over a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that. The arrangement, of course, is incredible. Leonard Bernstein did a fabulous thing on his show where he breaks down the entire song. The way that the I think there's some key changes, but I know there's like tempo changes. It's
Mhm.
really, but it's such a powerful song, and it really changed the way growing up, in an all-white community for the
Wow.
most part. I mean, oh, I would say no black.
Right.
It really made me see this. Wow, this is really. I mean, it was a big moment to just change, which shows that art can do that sometimes. But
I worship. the idea that art changes lives so much. Like I will sit with an artist for days who is not necessarily famous, but who has the ability to just reach in and pull something out that I've never seen before.
Yeah, and it can be high art or low art, and there's a place I've really come for all those levels, even something the most silly, stupid, well, not I mean to say stupid, but silly, nothing, sitcom or
Inane.
whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes Oracle and I used to think always when I was writing animation, because there were a lot of hacks there who would just phone stuff in, or literally people who would copy old Warner Brothers
I was gonna
scripts.
say, were they copying the old stuff or were they doing the
Yeah,
old,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and I just never thought, I never, which anyone should do. It's not like I'm trying to give myself a medal, but I thought, some kid comes home from a really bad day at school or has genuine serious problems either at school or at home to give that break, that relief. And the same thing goes for adults. You don't know what
Well,
kind
that's
of
what's
day
going on
someone's
right now,
had.
I think, but there's so many
Well,
other,
it's been it all from the beginning. I mean,
yeah,
I don't
it
know,
always has been. Yeah,
Civil War, whatever, when they could hear music and all times there's that with people and to provide a break or relief and entertainment or something, even if it's for 30 minutes or it's a song for
yeah,
there's a really important place for that too. Everything doesn't have to be about, changing the world or doing that. There's places for that too, but um it was funny. I had sort of a epiphany. My father was in a home very close here. He died at 95, had a great life. And this guy came in to do a routine to entertain the seniors.
hmm,
And it was like a Saturday Night Live routine. It was like, oh my God, this guy's so corny, the things he's saying, whatever. And I stood in the back, and for a few seconds, I was, cynical like this. And then I thought, wait a minute, Stephen, you idiot. It's like, look at the smiles on these people's faces. And he was doing songs all of the
sure.
era. And
You're not the
and
demographic.
and he was good, but it was really high energy, which you have to be, their attention span, whatever state. My father, he had short-term memory loss, but still you could have a conversation with him. But I just saw the joy he was bringing these people, and I really, thought this is great. This guy is doing an incredible thing,
Hmm.
and he's really making these people happy. And I had no right to go like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so hip, I'm so this guy, oh, this is like, oh, this is a Saturday Night Live routine. So I always kind of go again that now when either other people say that or do something because there's places for all those types
Yeah.
of, you know, of entertainment, whether it's a book or a musical or a theater, a play, a film, whatever.
What this is a very similar story. When one of my first jobs in the real world, because most of my career has been since I was 7 years old, has been on stage.
Mm.
Um, but there's one of my jobs was working as a nurse assistant for a place called the Rehabilitation Center for the Aged, which was the Hebrew Rehabilitation Center, which was mostly people, and this is in the late 70s, early 80s, who were in Auschwitz, Dachau,
Wow.
and in the middle of the night, because I usually work night shift, you would hear this one woman in the back corner singing these beautiful, beautiful songs, and just like the opera voice. And then we had a castrati that ended up there a few years later.
Mm.
And the two of them would do duets from one side of the building to the other, and you'd
Wow.
back and forth. And I went up to her. I said, Rose, what song is that you're singing? She said, it's the only one that got me through. And
That,
okay, I will listen to that song until the day I die. That is the most beautiful song I've ever. I don't know what it
wow.
is. It was in Hebrew. It was gorgeous, and to this day, every time I hear a little old lady singing opera, I just think of Rose and Rose Silverman, and
Mm.
the way that she gave me goosebumps at that stuff. It was just, music does so much for people, and
Oh, it does. I mean, it's such a powerful thing is who was it? Noel Coward said, cheap music is so potent, but it really is. Doesn't matter what it is. I think that's in Private Lives, but yeah, it's the power it has, and whatever type of music. And in a way, I sort of feel sorry for people who like, well, I only like country, I only like rock, I don't like. To me,
everything is so good.
to me,
Everything has
everything can
something.
be so good. And there's plenty of bad rock, bad country, bad classical, bad all those things. Some just a matter of taste or whatever. But uh, I just think like God, they're limiting their ability to enjoy. And luckily, I was exposed, especially through my grandfather, but my parents too. especially my mom, but especially a lot of different types of music. And he was listening to Strauss and the Music Man and all, just all things all over the place. And, my parents were like, Sinatra and Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, all these different
Yeah.
who I'm going to see. I'm going to see Herb Alpert in
I
November
saw that he was touring. I was so excited that he's
touring,
coming
and
to
I looked at
Portland.
his
Yeah.
tapes. He sounds great. I mean, it's none of the original members, but the players are all younger, but
Yeah.
he sounds really good. And when as a kid, that's how I learned to play the drums, was playing along to the
I was
Beatles
going to ask you that.
and
How did you learn?
and Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, which was a lot of Hal Blaine, who was in the Wrecking Crew, one of the session players that did a lot of the that drumming. But oh yeah, they had people now have no clue how big Herb Alpert was. They knocked the Beatles out to one place. At one point, they had like 5 albums in the top 40 or something. I mean, it was nuts. It was crazy. But
Just remember hearing dum, 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 ba-dum, bum,
yeah,
ba-dum. Just going to it. Just going to it.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Great, great. So,
drums of all instruments, though. I mean, that's not the one that
well,
most
it was
people go,
kind
yeah, let's
of
pick that one up.
Well, it was kind of a peek into me. Everything else looked. I thought there's no way I play the guitar. 6 strings, too many. I had played a little ukulele. We had one. My mom had one, so could kind of do that a little bit. But I thought, well, the drums are easy. You just hit them, and so that's how I started
I
with
can
the
relate.
drums. And then later ukulele. Then I got a tenor guitar, and then I got and then I didn't start playing 6 string until like I was 21. So.
Wow.
It came
Wow.
that came much later.
So were you
Um,
playing ukulele or six string first?
no, I was playing ukulele first. Oh yeah, way when
Okay.
I was little, just had that and could sort of do that, and then went up to the tenor guitar, and which is 4 strings, because I thought, oh, 6 strings. That's how. Where do you put your fingers? How do you? It's nuts.
I'm
Uh,
way short. I couldn't even get it around the neck. So it was like I had to learn how to
right, yeah, yeah.
stretch.
No, I do not have good guitar. I have short, stubby little fingers. I don't have those long things.
Yeah, I have swimmer's hands. I have my hands look like they could be paddles, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
But there's some
Paddles.
people who have I believe great rock, great guitar players. I mean Hendrix had incredibly long fingers and whatever he could play quite well. But there's some people that you're surprised you look, and then of course Django Reinhardt, the great jazz
Oh yeah.
player, two of his figures were like fused together, but he came up with this incredible
You
style.
took Perlman too and Bela Fleck both. So
Yeah.
yeah, both all of them. Oh, Stephen, you are an absolute god to me. Just so you know, I am so incredibly happy that we got to chat today, but it went by too fast.
Oh, it did. It did. I know there's things we probably didn't even talk about yet.
And lots of things. And now I can think about it like I could. My brain is going, but you should and that. So um, because that's how my brain works, ping pong volley. I would love to have you back again anytime you'd like to come back. And if
Yeah,
you want
that
new
would be fun.
projects to talk about or anything, it's all just let me know and we will make it happen.
That would be
Uh,
great.
but for right now, we're going to close out the show. Guys, this has been my honor to present to you. Should have been a household name, will be a household name
That's
in
not
our
too
house.
late.
God damn
Am
it.
I? I'm like sub famous or something. Sub
Yeah,
cult
yeah.
famous.
Kathy Ledman and I had the same conversation. So Tonight Show, how many times and she's still. So Mr. Stephen Banks, the hero, the artist, the auteur, young adult novels. Do look up his stuff. Go to Powell's Books. Go to the local bookstore. Check out his stuff for your kids. And for Pete's sake, go look up his stuff on video. We will have the links down below. This has been the Antisocial Hour-ish show, and we will see you next week. We're going to have who are we having next? Oh, I believe we're having Jane Weedland from the Go-Go's.
Oh, cool. I had Gina Shock, the drummer from the Go-Go's on my PBS series. She
I
was
love
great.
her too. Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's more stuff we got to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, people. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
All righty. Bye-bye. Thank you.